I treat you like a brother, yet you want to enter my back garden. When I spent all my effort finding the ancient castle, where my good brother was imprisoned, after removing the shackles from his feet, I was about to pull him away and leave. Who would have thought the next moment my face was lifted, my good brother staring intently at my lips, then suddenly leaning in close. I immediately covered his mouth. Holy crap. Both the system and I were stunned in the wind. IG has gone crazy. Seriously crazy. I pushed Baiji away with no logic left, flustered and explaining, Brother Baiji, I'm not gay. Don't kiss me. An implicit smile bloomed on Baiji's lips. You don't like boys. He narrowed his beautiful phoenix eyes, staring at me just like that. But right now, I found it a bit terrifying. Inside those eyes was filled with infinite possessiveness and desire, as if he wanted to swallow me whole. Maybe it's because I have been single for too long. Why do I see my brother looking so dashing? Like this. System, get out here and explain this to me. I'm really about to go crazy. The system is also about to go crazy. Duanzi quickly flipped through the novel, in his hand no way in the original work. There's clearly no plot point like this. What on earth is going on? Baiji pressed closer while I was still dazed, basically not paying him any mind. A dark glint flashed in Baiji's eyes, his hand tightening around my wrist. You were the one who chose me proactively, so you aren't allowed to regret it. After saying that, he leaned in. My breath was once again snatched away. I struggled desperately, but couldn't move an inch. I don't know what kind of monster Baiji actually is, but my golden finger feels like a joke. It's completely useless. I truly feel that if this kissing continues, I'll be kissed to death by Baiji. System, upgrade my cheat ability now. I'm about to be kissed to death by him. The system snapped out of its shock and temporarily boosted my cheat ability by several levels. I violently pushed Baiji away. Baiji frowned slightly, seeming a bit dissatisfied. He raised his head, intending to kiss me again. I didn't hesitate to give him a slap. Baiji reached out to touch his face. A moment later, he looked at his palm with a deep, meaningful gaze, then suddenly let out a sick Yandere laugh. Baiji sniffed his own palm. Are you sick or something? My scolding was cut short, followed by a wave of intense, passionate kisses. A second before I was about to pass out, countless black feathers flew toward us, stabbing straight into Baiji's body. Strangely, not a single drop of blood appeared, but those black feathers turned a bright crimson and fell to the ground. After that, they transformed into individual flowers, incredibly beautiful flaming red flowers. Then more feathers covered him, until the black no longer turned to red. Only then did the crimson in Baiji's eyes slowly fade. I looked up, following the direction the feathers came from. I saw Ziwen appearing in the dungeon, with a cold expression on her face. I had never seen Ziwen this angry before. Baiji, you've gone too far. Ziwen, who was usually elegant and calm, now had eyes overflowing with rage. Baiji slightly curled his lips. How is this too far? Are you talking about that incriminating evidence? You can fabricate anything to smear me, but you cannot force Brother Zheng. This is disrespecting him. Baiji gave a light chuckle. Ziwen, have you been a human for so long that you've forgotten you're actually a beast? He stepped forward, his long flaming red hair fluttering as he confronted Ziwen. The two of them looked nothing alike. Ziwen was a noble, elegant female CEO, while Baiji was a demonic freak with bloodshot eyes. Both possessed the same beautiful phoenix eyes. Looking closely, those eyes were shockingly similar. I'm only doing the things you don't dare to do. Nonsense, I've never even thought about treating Brother Zheng the way you have. My face was filled with question marks. Don't want to. You can't fool me. But even if you wanted to, it's useless. Zheng chose me. The one he likes is me, not you. Ziwen's pupils flickered for a moment as she turned her head to look at me. At this time, I was still sitting flat on the ground, hair disheveled and looking a bit messy. Ziwen looked at my state with heartache. She gave Baiji a deep, lingering glare, then stepped toward me. What is she doing? Is Ziwen planning to save me? One by one, every single one of them is sick. A single black feather flew over, gently covering my eyes. I immediately fell into unconsciousness. Brother Zheng, I'm sorry. Just have a little sleep. When Ziwen turned back to face Baiji, her gaze instantly turned icy. In just the blink of an eye, the entire space was flooded with black feathers. Black wings that covered the whole sky, spread wide behind Ziwen's back. What's the matter? Afraid to let him see your ugly side? I just don't want to scare Brother Zheng. As soon as Ziwen finished speaking, feathers shed from her wings and lunged rapidly toward Baiji. Baiji tried to dodge, but it was unavoidable. The black feathers repeatedly pierced into his body, eventually all transforming into flaming red flowers. Those red flowers drifted in the air, wrapping around Baiji layer upon layer, finally turning into iron chains that bound him tight. Arrogant just because you're the original form. You hypocritical beast? Baiji looked a bit disheveled. He had just been released by me, so his power hadn't recovered. He was completely unable to fight back against Ziwen. He could only curse a few words to vent his anger. Ziwen's cold voice rang out. You shouldn't have bullied Brother Zheng. Deep inside the dark cave, the chains clattered as he raised his hand to clutch his chest. Ziwen, what right do you have to blame me? You know that the moment you fell for him, it was predestined that I would fall for him too. He touched his lips with his fingertip as if savoring the aftertaste, his voice carrying a hint of enchantment. You felt it too, didn't you? Don't you want to try it a little? Ziwen dazed out, subconsciously licking her lips. She really had felt it. If it were me kissing Brother Jun, her gaze suddenly darkened. In the room, I was quietly sleeping soundly. Moonlight pierced through the silk curtains shining on my face. Ziwen stood beside the bed, her eyes tracing every bit of my tightly closed eyes, finally stopping on my firmly shut thin lips. Brother Jung's lips looked so soft. If I secretly gave Brother Jung a kiss, Ziwen subconsciously licked her lips. A hand as white and smooth as jade reached toward the youth on the bed. Suddenly, the hand changed direction and slapped Ziwen's own face. She squeezed her eyes shut forcefully, turning away and muttering to herself, "Ziwen, calm down. You aren't a crazy person like that Bai J guy." Taking a deep breath, she opened her eyes again, but her gaze subconsciously drifted toward me on the bed. "Ziwen, you're a grown woman now. You can't act like a beast." Ziwen forced herself to look away, thinking about what Baiji said that Brother Jung liked him. What a total pipe dream. I'm clearly much better looking than him. I woke up and tossed and turned on the bed, just happening to roll to the head of the bed, my eyes meeting the little bone beside me. I was fully awake now. "System, you still haven't explained it to me? What on earth is going on?" "Well, I've spent all my stored energy just to find out that because two big shots from the Transmigration Bureau fought, they even blew up the entire Transmigration Bureau. This led to the pre-established plot points and even the characters undergoing changes. Don't give me all that talk. I'm only asking you, no matter how much things change, can a male turn into a female?" "Sorry, I couldn't find any data on that. I really am useless. I've always preferred sweet plots over angst." Forget it. What do we do now? Is the mission still to rescue Baiji?" The system immediately perked up. "Yes, still rescuing." I had just breathed a sigh of relief. But the next second, I suddenly thought, "System, don't you think there is something wrong with this world? It seems like now, the rich lady is a fox spirit. Assistant Yan is a swallow spirit. Juju is probably a cat. And Baiji, could he be a flower spirit? Then what is Ziwen?" My eyes subconsciously drifted to the little bone beside me. The system and I shuddered at the same time. I grabbed the little bone and threw it far away. She couldn't have been a white bone. Spirit before right, one human and one mascot rubbed their chins in thought, becoming more and more certain that Ziwen is a white bone spirit. Right then, a knock sounded at the door. The system and I jumped in fright. After hesitating a moment, I went to open the door. Outside was Ziwen gorgeously made up. As soon as I opened the door, I was face to face with her. With makeup this beautiful, is she planning to use a honey trap on me, Brother Jung? Her voice was gentle, carrying a hint of shyness. "Since our hearts are already in sync, let's be together." I snapped out of the allure of her beauty, feeling a bit confused. "What do you mean in sync?" Ziwen lowered her head, blushing. "In sync means that I like you, and you like me too. I don't have time for this. You're overthinking it. I don't like you. I really don't." Ziwen felt like everything else had gone silent, those few words just circling in her head endlessly. It took a moment for her to regain her senses. "Doesn't like me. How is that possible? Earlier, he was touching that bone, to the point where I almost couldn't take it. How could he not like me?" I blinked, thought of something, and went back into the room. Ziwen's phoenix eyes sparkled, staring at me just like that. But then she saw me using 2 fingers to pinch the little bone with a look of pure disgust. "Take this back with you." Ziwen felt like she'd been struck by lightning. He doesn't like me, and he doesn't even want my little bone anymore. She stood there frozen on the spot, clearly wearing a brilliant outfit, but right now, she looked completely gloomy and dejected. "Brother Jung doesn't like me." "Then what does Brother Jung like?" "Whatever you want, I'll buy it for you. I can give you more money than you could ever spend. Just leave me alone for a bit. I don't want anything right now." Inside, I was feeling extremely annoyed. I was already having a headache over Baiji's mission, and now Ziwen comes over saying all this confusing stuff. Ziwen raised her head, her phoenix eyes staring at me without blinking. Those eyes seemed like they were about to shatter. She choked up, tightly clutching the little bone I no longer wanted, turning around and walking away one slow step at a time. After she finally reached a place where I couldn't see her, Ziwen raised her hand and flicked the little bone hard. "You're so useless." An intense pain shot up from her lower back, but Ziwen felt that there was somewhere even more painful than her back. It took a long time for her to realize. It turned out the place where her heart should be was aching. But I don't have a heart. My heart is currently with Baiji. Ziwen walked toward the garden in a daze, looking like her soul had been sucked out. Her pupils were vacant as she dazedly repeated over and over, "He said he doesn't like me." Suddenly, Ziwen transformed into her bird person form. A long wail rang out, crying out for the entire day. By nightfall, I was so annoyed I couldn't even sleep, roaring in anger from my bed. "What kind of damn bird is that? The sound is hideous." The crying suddenly paused for a moment, finally followed by an even more mournful sound, except this time it was much quieter. At this moment, Ziwen's appearance was quite ridiculous. She whined softly, even using her wings to wipe away her tears. Right then, a gray swallow flew over. Speaking in Assistant Yan's weird tone, "Brother Jung definitely likes me. Serves you right for daring to dock my pay." Ziwen used her wings to swat Assistant Yan away. The gray swallow flew back, intending to mock her more, but Ziwen had already flown to the top of the ancient castle. The gray swallow circled twice and left in a huff. At the top of the ancient castle hung a giant bell, with iron chains hanging beneath it, leading straight down to the dungeon, where Baiji was being held. Ziwen stepped through the moonlight, opening her beak to chirp at Baiji below. Inside the dungeon, the pure moonlight shone down on an exquisite figure. Baiji's face was covered in tear stains, clutching his contracting heart and struggling. Yet a strange smile bloomed on the corner of his lips. His fingertip moved slightly as a flaming red flower flew up, climbing onto the pitch-black feathers and slowly merging into them. The one he likes is me. That's why he rejected you. A wicked, enchanting voice echoed repeatedly in Ziwen's mind. Ziwen's body stiffened as she slowly walked to my room door. The warm yellow light shone on her, yet it carried an inexplicably eerie atmosphere. Ziwen raised her hand, but the moment she went to push the door open, she suddenly stopped. Black and red colors constantly intertwined in her pupils. Finally, the black dominated. She still didn't leave, just standing there at my door forever. Until early morning, a creak rang out, and the room door opened. Yesterday I heard those eerie sounds outside, and only just managed to fall asleep. As a result, I had a nightmare, dreaming of two terrifying weird eyes, one pair pitch black, the other blood red, just staring at me. Sleepily yawning, I opened the door, but was startled by the shadow in front of the door. Especially when I met those eyes. I immediately thought of that hair-raising feeling from my dream. I subconsciously stepped back twice and screamed. Ziwen heard the noise and forced out a smile. But when she saw me flinch, her rationality instantly vanished. A deep crimson immediately flooded her eyes. I saw it was Ziwen and breathed a sigh of relief. Sis, why are you here? It's so heavy. I thought to myself, it's over. This aura is probably enough to send me to the afterlife. Before I could even react, I was violently pinned against the door by Ziwen. Seeing that she was about to kiss me, just as I was about to struggle, I saw Ziwen suddenly stand up. Don't touch him. Get out. Holy. I was completely dazed, so terrified I could only scream internally. Ziwen's fingertips actually reached down, her finger gently stroking my lips. This familiar movement made me shudder. I raised my hand intending to slap her. The air was full of floating black feathers. Those feathers actually pierced into Ziwen. The feathers on her body fell off, their ends carrying incredibly beautiful flowers. Those flowers actually slowly condensed into the form of Baiji. No way, the system and I were jaw-dropped. The two figures immediately lunged into a struggle with each other. Ziwen was clearly powerless today. A strange black smoke constantly emitted from her body. Yesterday, she was rejected by me and cried all night. She was already heartbroken. And then, Baiji took the chance to seize her body. Now gradually losing ground, Baiji mocked. Truly useless. I should have let you rot in the egg and be done with it. That way, you wouldn't interfere with me and brother Jung being together forever. Hearing this, Ziwen's attacks became more violent. But it was clear her moves had become messy. The corner of Baiji's lips curled up slightly, his phoenix eyes glancing at the little bone that just fell. With just a simple hand movement, the bone instantly enlarged several times in his hand. Baiji held the bone in one hand, like a spear performing a move, stabbing the bone straight into Ziwen's heart. The bone pierced straight through Ziwen's body. Brother Jung, please like me. Okay. I widened my eyes in horror. Ziwen isn't actually going to lose her life here, is she? Baiji heard my inner thoughts, pinning Ziwen's entire body against the wall. Ziwen coughed up fresh blood again, her bloody fingertips pointing toward me, reaching out through the air, before powerlessly dropping down. Baiji suddenly turned his head, his fingertip lightly touching the space between my brows. Now is not the time to worry about her. Before my consciousness faded, I thought to myself, I don't know what's wrong with them. One after another, they're all like this. Consciousness returning, I struggled to open my eyes, propping myself up to look around. Where is this? The sound of the wind carrying the rustling of sea waves reached me. Flower petals above my head occasionally fell brushing against my cheek. The soft sensation made me look up in doubt. Oh my god. The system and I almost got scared to death. From the ceiling, a pale figure was hanging upside down like a spider. With a blank expression, he just stared intently at me. Suddenly, his fingertip trembled slightly. A petal condensed from his fingertip and fell, gently brushing against my cheek. I felt my head buzzing, a cold sensation enveloping my entire body. I reached out, grabbed a painting nearby, and violently threw it at him. Are you sick? Baiju chuckled softly and slowly lowered himself. Are you insane? Why are you trying to scare people? Baiju paused, tilted his head, and said seriously, Did I scare Brother Jung? Then let you scare me back. I felt the world spinning. The very next moment, I was hung by Baiji at the highest point of the cage. I thought to myself, is he actually mental? Immediately after I was lowered back down, Baiju gently lifted my face, his voice full of enchantment. I'm sorry. Brother Jung is so adorable. No matter how I look, you're just so cute. Whenever I see Brother Jung, I just like you. But if you want to scare me back, then that's going to be a bit difficult. I brushed his hand away. Can you not be so cheesy? These are words from the bottom of my heart. Stop babbling. Where are we? It's our little nest. Does Brother Jung like it? Seriously mental. I looked at this golden cage. Truth be told, I kind of liked it. Want to possess me? That is a little bit interesting. But I have no interest in playing games with him. What I'm worried about right now is that bone, that big piercing through Ziwen's heart. Even if she's a white bone spirit, it's gotta hurt. Not to mention Ziwen was coughing up blood too. She looked like she was about to give out, and she even forced me to like her. I remembered the way Ziwen looked at me back then, and suddenly I didn't feel so good inside. How is Ziwen? Don't worry. That idiot, I couldn't kill her even if I tried. I was speechless. Is Ziwen really that dumb? She's not quite at that level, right, I guess. Just as I was about to speak, the ground suddenly shook violently. Aiji's expression turned dark. The flower petals around us wrapped around the cage even tighter. His fingers pinched my chin as he planted a kiss. Brother Jung, I'm going out for a bit. You must be a good boy. I mentally protested, good boy, my ass. I don't want to stay in this creepy place. Quiet, whatever things need to be a bit more intense to be fun. The island where I was currently located was so quiet that I could only hear the wind and the waves. But on the outskirts of the island, it was a completely different scene. The sky was covered in pitch black feathers. Those feathers condensed into an attack, fiercely stabbing down at the island. The next second, they were blocked by an invisible barrier. As if tireless, the action of stabbing the barrier with feathers was repeated. In the corner, 3 people were sitting and snacking on seeds. Assistant Yan nudged Juju with his elbow. Look at that idiocy from Ziwen. You think she can actually take on Baiji? Don't touch this lady. She's no match for Baiji. You aren't much smarter either, Juju. Juju is annoyed to death. It was so hard. Just thinking I could set a trap for Ziwen. Who would have thought that idiot Ziwen would suddenly go crazy and run away halfway through, even smashing my car to pieces? I chased after her to the Kiha villa, but was locked outside the door all night. Then I heard Ziwen crying and screaming, finally just straight up losing it, even running to the island to break the barrier. You really have quite the temper. Then pay me back for my car, assistant. Yan stopped speaking. Fuba still kept that eternal unchanging smile. At this moment there was movement on Ziwen's side. The black feathers were blocked by red flowers. Baiji appeared with a face that could enchant all living beings. Ziwen, reeking of rage, let Brother Jung go. Brother Jung gave this to you, didn't he? Baiji's answer was off topic, deliberately holding the flower I had just thrown at him. His seductive voice was mixed with a hint of contempt. Ziwen was furious. Black feathers sweeping toward Baiji. The red flowers immediately entwined them. Baiji had to maintain the barrier, while dealing with Ziwen feeling powerless. Flower petals were knocked down covering the ground. 3 figures acting all sneaky, secretly picked up a few petals. Taking advantage of Baiji not paying attention, they immediately stuffed them into their mouths. They didn't dare pick up too many, fearing Baiji would turn around and beat them. Yesterday, Ziwen didn't react in time, which is why she let Baiji win. Although Ziwen's combat power is high, Baiji is extremely insidious. However, right now, it's a total gain for us. Assistant Yan clicked his tongue. Baiji's flowers are all pure energy. They're top-tier supplements. Outside the barrier, the 2 fought until the sky turned dark. Inside the barrier, it was calm and peaceful. I had absolutely no idea about the battle outside. With great effort, I finally escaped that weird flower bird cage. But with my very first step, I fell straight into a very deep pit. However, I wasn't injured at all. The bottom of the pit was overflowing with red flower petals. I didn't even need to think to know this was Baiji's handiwork. Luckily, I'm as strong as an ox. I struggled to climb for who knows how long and was finally about to get out, but just then, a slender jade-like hand appeared in front of me. Zero warning. Need some help? My entire body instantly froze as I slowly looked up. Baiji was just squatting there by the pit looking down at me. God knows how long he'd been watching. I took a deep breath. I'm seriously terrified of you. Do you know? That quiet? It's one thing to leave, but why be this gloomy and dark? Baiji looked at me with great interest. My expression kept shifting back and forth. Suddenly I saw a flower bloom, swaying right in front of my face, with a sick yonder sort of flattery. Impatiently, I swiped the flower away. Baiji didn't get angry. On the contrary, he used my current position to suddenly lean down low and kiss me, his cold fingertips forcefully gripping my chin. I couldn't move forward and had nowhere to retreat. Behind me was a bottomless pit, and in front was something even scarier than that. Right before Baiji momentarily vanished, he left behind only those crimson eyes, phoenix eyes filled with possessive desire, quiet. After that forced kiss by the pit, I was brought back to that magnificent flower cage. I thought to myself it was actually pretty intense. But it's useless. It's just too creepy. Wait, why did I find it intense? Am I a bad guy too? The flowers in the cage grew deeper red by the day, emitting a thick, sticky fragrance. In this hellhole, there were no new clothes to change into. The outfit I was wearing was manifested by Baiji. There was nothing to eat here either. Baiji would wickedly feed me flower petals. They actually tasted pretty good. But after eating too many, I started to get a bit sick of them. Furthermore, thinking about how these flowers were all manifested by Baiji, I feel a bit of a shiver. Doesn't Baiji ever take a shower? Lately, Baiji has been disappearing frequently, but he always returns very quickly. He was already pale to begin with, but now he's even whiter, almost transparent. Occasionally, a few flower petals fall off his body. This time, Baiji has been gone for a particularly long time. I feel like I can escape again. Last time I was so pissed off by Baiji that I fainted. Truly a humiliating disgrace. So I quickly jumped up, carefully avoiding the large pit in front of the cage, and secretly ran toward the edge of the island. Baiji is truly a persistent ghost. Just as I ran to the shore and climbed over a reef, I discovered Baiji standing there quietly. No anger, no threats, no interrogations. He just stood there silently smiling at me. I was speechless. Honestly, I was a bit tired of running. I pulled myself together. You win. At least tell me, what on earth is the deal between you and Ziwen? Baiji's cold finger lightly touched my cheek, whispering, I will let you know everything. But his gaze pierced right through me, meeting Ziwen's eyes outside the barrier. As he flashed a triumphant smile, after all these days, I've finally seen Brother Jung. Baiji is such a villain. Brother Jeng must have suffered so much grievance. That shameless bastard, and that intimate posture too, touching Brother Jeng, even kissing him. Even I haven't been able to do that yet. Rage and jealousy exploded frantically. Ziwen suddenly pulled the bone out of her chest and stabbed it hard into the barrier. The barrier gradually began to crack, only to be healed by the red flowers in an instant. But the flowers were recovering slower and slower. Inside the magnificent birdcage, Baiji's tone was somewhat distracted. On the clouds of Qiang, a phoenix was born. When spiritual energy vanishes, decay is inevitable. The cycle of heaven and earth. The era of the gods will also come to an end. Spiritual energy depleted, great demons and divine beasts fled in droves. What remained was nothing more than a few rejects. Ziwen was an egg born with defects and abandoned by the Phoenix clan. An egg only half hatched as a phoenix is hatching requires a massive amount of spiritual energy. Spiritual energy ran dry. The corpse could only absorb resentment to break the shell. Nurtured by that resentment, the defective phoenix egg hatched into a black phoenix. But the phoenix is originally a divine beast, clashing with demonic energy. The two sides conflicted, and that's how I was born. He and I are two souls in one body. I finally found a loophole. If you're going to talk, then talk. Can you stop kissing me after every single sentence? Baiji lifted my face, his gaze filled with a madness bordering on devotion. Brother Jung, I am Ziwen's dark side. I will amplify his desires infinitely. Ziwen loves you, so I will only fall even deeper. Baiji raised his head and kissed those lips again. The island gradually sank into darkness. The moon hung high inside the giant cage, crimson phoenix-shaped flowers covering the ground. Baiji wore a red robe as brilliant as a rose, but his eyes were filled with insane possessiveness, imprisoning the remaining man, plundering him time and time again. Black hair and red hair intertwined with each other. I don't know what kind of madness he's on now. Clearly during the days I was locked here, Baiji kissed me frequently, but it was never this frantic, as if he wanted to swallow me whole. Like this, I feel like I'm about to suffocate. I really can't take it anymore. A crisp slapping sound rang out. Baiji tilted his head and clutched his face, his long red hair falling down, hiding half of his demonic features. He slowly turned his face back, the corner of his mouth curling into an understanding smile. My hand was still hanging in midair. Thinking back to the last time I slapped him, this hateful guy, it made my internal alarm bells ring loud and clear. Sure enough, Baiji leisurely grabbed my hand, kissing the palm of my hand. That demonic face gradually drew closer. Baiji, what kind of twisted fetish is this? I wanted to slap him again, but I was afraid he'd actually enjoy it. As the air in my lungs grew thinner, I really didn't want it to end up on the social news as the first person to be kissed to death. I reached out and pinched Baiji's waist hard. Baiji let out a groan and finally let go. I took the chance to push him away forcefully, gasping for air. Baiji was pushed to the ground by me. He looked up, his phoenix eyes watery and burning like fire, his lips as red as blood, and an unusual flush on his pale face. I was almost fuming. What kind of expression is he making right now? System, get out here right now. Rarely was I provoked to the point of screaming in my head like this. This guy is impossible. Scolding him does nothing, and I can't even win in a fight. What do you think I should do? Right, you choked him and he still thought it was a treat. Shut up. My cheeks were burning red, half from anger and the other half from embarrassment. Am I actually a pervert? I'm clearly a good youth, with excellent moral character. While I was questioning my entire existence, a cold sensation suddenly touched my hand. I looked down, only to see a hand, as pale as jade grasping my own broad hand. It was Baiji, just kneeling there on the flower-covered ground. I like you. I want you. I got goosebumps all over. System, look at him. He's a total freak. The system rolled its eyes and offered a suggestion. I think Brother Jung, maybe you should just agree to it. Don't think I don't know you actually like this a bit. Besides, the mission is to make him happy. How is this not a form of happiness? System, you dare play word games with me. The system gave a dry laugh and continued to tempt me. Look, Baiji is incredibly handsome, right? I raised an eyebrow. I used my finger to gently lift Baiji's chin, looking him over from left to right. Baiji didn't get annoyed at all. Instead, he cooperatively tilted his face up, looking completely confident, though his eyes couldn't hide his Yandere obsession. I have to admit, Baiji truly possesses a beauty rarely seen in this world. Even though he's Ziwen's dark side, aside from their identical eyes, everything else is completely different. Do you really like me that much? As I spoke, I used my fingertip to graze his lips, then pressed down hard. Baiji let out a soft groan. He didn't answer, only lowering his head to kiss my hand. I hooked his chin with my hand. In that case, come up here. Baiji took my hand and stood up. I snapped my fingers in my mind. System, draw the curtains. The system complied quickly, mimicking a finger snap. Okay. Half an hour later, the system was a bit speechless, asking, Brother Jung, didn't we draw the curtains? Why is there still no action? I helplessly looked at Baiji, who was still just nibbling back and forth on the bed. My lips were practically raw. I couldn't take it anymore. Baiji, shouldn't we move on to the next step? Baiji looked up, his eyes filled with the satisfaction of a dazed kiss. What's the next step, Brother Jung? No way. Does Baiji really not know what to do? My face was full of helplessness. I finally understood why Baiji kept kissing me endlessly. It turns out he only learned how to kiss. As I was hesitating, wondering if I should take the lead with Baiji, he was suddenly blasted by a surge of power and sent flying, slamming into the edge of the iron cage. Black feathers flooded in as Ziwen stepped out from them. Baiji, I've been far too indulgent with you. Ziwen, I can yield anything else to you. But this person is absolutely off limits. Ziwen raised her head, filled with madness and obsession. I want him. The two figures collided with each other. The terrifying power smashed the entire cage to pieces. I was once again strictly protected by the feathers. Ziwen was blinded by her rage and jealousy. Her combat prowess was truly staggering. Usually, Baiji is no match for Ziwen. And added to the fact that for the past few days he had been constantly maintaining the barrier. His energy was severely depleted. Baiji was beaten by Ziwen until his flowers scattered everywhere. I watched, feeling a bit of the petals falling away. But Baiji still loudly provoked her. Brother Jung likes me, not you. Ziwen froze for a moment, then suddenly became ruthless. Her attacks became even more ferocious. In the blink of an eye, that slender jade-like hand pierced through Baiji's chest from behind. I was completely horrified. This is my mission. I ran over to support Baiji, but at that exact moment, Ziwen's hand applied even more force, skewering straight through Baiji's body and emerging from the front of his chest. A bright red heart was clenched tightly in her palm. Baiji felt his heart being ripped out, but he wasn't heartbroken. On the contrary, his lips curled into a smile, with a strange sense of anticipation. A phoenix's nirvana is immortal and indestructible, but a black phoenix is destined to never reach nirvana. Moreover, inside Ziwen's body there is me. I knew from the very beginning that I would eventually disappear. Although we are two souls in one body, this body has always been controlled by Ziwen. I am the evil, the mistake, the filth destined to be discarded. The dark energy inside Ziwen is growing more and more, and coupled with the inability to reach nirvana, the power is running wild. So Ziwen can only destroy me, using a secret technique to separate me while using her heart to suppress and purify me. But based on what? Why is it that the one who must die is me? I refuse to accept this. But I am also Ziwen. Ziwen is also me. The spiritual energy of heaven and earth ran dry. When we were just fledglings, we relied on each other. If I don't die, the phoenix will eventually be swallowed by darkness. So I accepted it. It's okay since I shouldn't have existed anyway. Besides, I can't beat Ziwen in a fight. By eliminating me, the unstable factor, Ziwen, though unable to reach nirvana, will still have 100 years of life left. But I still wasn't satisfied. Why am I the dark side, while Ziwen gets to live purely in this world? So I made a proposal. I wanted to appear before everyone, in the form of a white moonlight, imprisoned by Ziwen, so that Ziwen would be stained with a flaw. If Ziwen wants to live, she must live on with that stain. If I must disappear, then I must leave a trace behind in this world. But things in life are always unpredictable. The phoenix met the sun. I also met the sun, because we are originally the same person. Therefore, the sun also belongs to me. Furthermore, the sun firmly and unhesitatingly chose me. So to make Ziwen lose her mind, I orchestrated everything, fabricating that ridiculous evidence of guilt, provoking Ziwen time and time again. I know that Ziwen is just like me. Down to the bone, we are both frantically obsessed. Even if the phoenix removes the darkness, it is still a black phoenix, not some merciful deity pitying the world. Baiji used both hands to lift my face, placing a kiss between my brows. Unlike any of the previous madness, it was so gentle, so lingering. My son, please remember my appearance forever. As Baiji's words faded, his body transformed into brilliant red flowers, soaring and hovering in midair. At the final moment, I saw Baiji's phoenix eyes, filled with a longing that refused to let go. The rain of flowers across the sky gradually vanished. Only a single red petal remained in my hand. I stared at it blankly, then slowly raised my head. Before me was a heart beating frantically, clutched tightly by a snow-white hand. I followed the arm upward and met a pair of phoenix eyes. It was Ziwen. She was covered in blood, her face like a shura, but her eyes were brimming with tears. Brother Jung, do you actually like him? My mouth hung open, not knowing what to say. Ziwen thought my silence was a tacit admission. Her entire body was enveloped in a suffocating sense of despair. Tears fell drop by drop as she seemed to reach a final decision. Suddenly, she thrust that heart back into her own chest. In an instant, the world changed color as the winds howled. Black and red surged through Ziwen's body, intertwining. The wings on Ziwen's back began to grow longer, covering the entire sky. Those black wings actually started growing red veins. What on earth is this idiot Ziwen doing? Why is her power suddenly running wild and merging with Baiji? She doesn't want to live, but this lady certainly does. Juju's cat ears stood straight up. She didn't know why she was being so unlucky. I just wanted to follow along to watch the drama. But why do I have to help maintain this barrier? Valley, what a pain. Now Ziwen is merging with Baiji again. Is she mental or what? Didn't they separate because Ziwen couldn't suppress the demonic energy inside her? Either Ziwen dies or Ziwen takes the whole world down with her. What kind of game is this now? Jojo roared at those behind her while forming hand signs. Assistant Yan shot back, how should I know? It's definitely because your stinky cat self provoked her. You raggedy swallow, you still dare to mock her. Don't think I don't know. Fuba pulled back his smile. Stop arguing. Keep this up and we won't even need to buy coffins. We'll just be buried right here on the spot. The group struggled to maintain the island's barrier, trying to stop the terrifying roar of death from spreading outward and harming the human world. Juju's fluffy ears stood straight up. I can't hold it anymore. This lady only has 3 lives left. Am I really going to lose another one today? Detecting energy in the mini-world is running wild. Brother Jung, this is bad. The two of them are merging. He's going to go berserk. This world will collapse because of him. I had absolutely no time to listen to the system, because Ziwen's jade-like hands had already gripped the back of my neck. Ziwen, calm down. I struggled and lifted my head. I kissed her luscious lips. Ziwen froze for a moment. On her body, the terrifying aura suddenly skyrocketed. I raised my hand and slapped her. Ziwen snapped out of it for a split second, blinking at me in total daze. Sis, I want you. Ziwen looked even more bewildered. The sensation on her lips became more distinct. Ziwen's rationality completely collapsed as she flipped the script and took the lead. The barrier outside the island suddenly went into a violent frenzy. The group repairing the barrier were scared out of their wits. But in the blink of an eye, the riot miraculously settled down. They looked at each other in confusion. Jo rubbed her tails that had popped out from fear, gritting her teeth. When Ziwen comes out, I'm definitely going to teach her a lesson. This wait lasted for several days. In the early morning, the dawn light appeared, shining down on the two of them. Ziwen woke up first. She quietly gazed at me beside her, stroking my cheek and whispering, Brother Jeng, we're finally together. Right then, a voice rang out in Ziwen's head. There's still me, Brother Jung likes me the most. Ziwen gritted her teeth. Listen here, if it weren't for me, you could only stare at Brother Jung and drool. Ziwen was seriously fuming. After the two of them merged, she finally realized how much Baiji had calculated. But those things didn't matter anymore. After all, she was with Brother Jung now. Ziwen looked at the messy ruined island and felt internally dissatisfied. You imprisoned Brother Jung, yet you secretly came to this honeymoon spot that I painstakingly prepared as a holy land. Are you stupid? I don't have any money. Did you think forced love had to be this poor? It's honestly enough to make your teeth fall out laughing. Two souls. Ziwen and Baiji spoke in unison, truly giving Ziwen a massive headache. Ziwen rubbed her eyebrows, looking down at me lying in her arms. My brows were slightly furrowed. Ziwen felt a bit pained. Her fingertips gently stroked my eyebrows, a surge of power flowing out. Instantly, my brows relaxed. The black wings spread wide, in a posture of absolute strength, yet with extreme caution, enveloping the person fast asleep. The barrier that had stood for half a month finally opened. Jojo, waiting outside, saw Ziwen. The little cat angrily bared her teeth. Ziwen, you psycho. You made me wait here for over half a month. Even though there's small fish around the island to eat, I'm still furious. Ziwen, do you have any idea how busy I am? A familiar tone drifted over. Jojo froze as Ziwen turned her head, her eyes carrying a hint of a smile. But they were a pair of blazing red phoenix eyes. The little cat backed away in fear. When Ziwen fights at most, she pulls cat fur. But Baiji is different. I haven't forgotten the 3 lives I lost because Baiji set me up. Baiji looked towards them and curled his lips slightly. He was clearly smiling, but it made them feel like they were facing a grand enemy. Fuba, it's been a while. Why are you being so formal? Fuba wasn't exactly being formal. It's just that when that person goes crazy, they're a total psycho. If this person goes crazy, you'll lose your life in an instant. He slightly bowed his body in a noble salute. Miss, you must be joking. Baiju chuckled softly, his phoenix eyes narrowing slightly beside Assistant Yan, who was shaking like a quail. Holding me, he vanished. Assistant Yan, seeing that they were completely gone, finally dared to speak up, wailing pathetically. It's over, it's all over. I shouldn't have run my mouth mocking Ziwen. This time my salary is definitely getting nuked. Why is my life so miserable? Serves you right. Juju laughed at his misfortune. When I woke up again, I was at the Chisya villa. I felt my limbs all intact. My mind was refreshed, even full of energy, my whole body bursting with strength. I let out a soft sigh of relief. I really thought I'd be tormented to death by that beast Ziwen. The bedroom door opened. Ziwen walked in with a smile. Wait, something's off. I narrowed my eyes to observe closely. That person, though, having Ziwen's face, was wearing a very suggestive outfit. This is definitely Baiji. That seductive figure slowly walked over, a faint smile playing on the corners of his lips. His eyes filled with deep meaning. Thinking back to everything I'd gone through, lately, my expression wasn't great. Baiju came to the bedside. Seeing me sulking, his heart fluttered slightly. This guy was never one for self-restraint. He leaned down, his slender fingers directly pinching my chin, forcing me to look up before he leaned in for a kiss. My fist clenched and then relaxed. Relaxed and then clenched. I really wanted to slap him, but I was afraid he'd just kiss my hand. Baiju kissed me for a long time. Amidst the lingering entanglement, I felt the kiss on my lips change its style. I looked closer. Sure enough, the crimson eyes in front of me had turned pitch black. Those phoenix eyes were sparkling bright, staring intently at me without looking away. It's Ziwen. I didn't hesitate to give her a slap. Ziwen's lips twitched slightly, feeling a bit wronged. But after thinking it over carefully, that was Brother Zheng's slap of love. It was so soft and fragrant, loved it want more. She eagerly offered her other cheek, full of anticipation. Brother Zheng, I want more here too. My fist clenched. I couldn't help but slap her again. You psycho. I pushed away Ziwen, who was about to act up, and was just about to lose my temper, when I saw Ziwen with her hands behind her back, ears flushing, red eyes darting around, looking like she had something to say but was too shy. My anger instantly vanished. What is it? I raised an eyebrow. Ziwen took a deep breath and pulled out from behind her back the item I previously rejected and returned to her the little bone. Since we're already together, I should still give this to you. Her face got redder and redder. Her voice grew louder, carrying a strange sense of anticipation. I was suspicious. If Ziwen is a phoenix, she's definitely not a white bone spirit. There's something weird about this little bone. I looked closely at the bone. What exactly is this? Brother Zheng's hands are so white. The way he squeezes the little bone. Ziwen's breathing became heavy as she watched. It's my bone. My tailbone. Ziwen's face reddened further as she spoke. Brother Zheng is touching her bone. They've already gone that far. Does Brother Zheng want? I watched Ziwen's reaction, even more confused. But my brain didn't get it. Suddenly, I applied force and squeezed it hard. Ziwen caught off guard, let out a cry and collapsed to the ground, one hand clutching her lower back, trembling uncontrollably. Her breathing was erratic, her voice hoarse as she called my name. Brother, this bone, it makes me feel the same sensations. I blinked. Turns out you've had bad intentions since the very beginning, huh? Giving your sensitive little bone to me as a gift. Are you hallucinating some kind of scenario? I deliberately used my fingertip to rub it once, stroking the little bone bit by bit. Ziwen's phoenix eyes welled up with tears. Brother Zheng, stop playing with me. I laughed triumphantly. Didn't you say you were a pervert? What a coincidence. So am I. And a very vengeful pervert at that. Saying that I needed the little bone even harder. With a sudden burst of force, Ziwen let out a moan. She leaned on my leg trying to stand but failing. Stay here. You need to be a good girl and take it. I smiled wickedly and brought the little bone to my lips. Before I could even kiss it, Ziwen's face instantly turned red with terror. She abruptly stood up, her jade-like hand firmly grasping my hand that was holding the little bone. Brother Zheng, that's enough. It was Baiji. I laughed out of spite but felt totally hyped up. My fingertips lightly caressed the little bone, fiddling with it. Baiji let out a soft groan, immediately following it up by kissing my lips. He kissed me so hard I couldn't breathe. I intentionally used my fingers to stroke the bone. Baiji responded by kissing even more frantically. I refused to back down. Think of how much I've been tormented these past days. I finally found Baiji's weakness. Even if I get kissed to death, I'm going to get my revenge on Baiji properly. I squeezed with all my might. Baiji kissed me even more intensely. The more intense Baiji got, the more force I used. The two of us began a contest of willpower. System in the sea of consciousness watched the two, refusing to yield to one another and couldn't help but sigh. Truly a legendary counterattack. Wait, why did everything suddenly go dark? Oh my god, did they move to the dark room? A small dried fish flew through the air, snatched by a black and white kitten about to feast. A fluffy tail swished out from a small jar, tossing another dried fish into the air. The kitten's hind legs kicked off powerfully. The cat quickly pounced, once again reaching the delicious treat. After a period of self-amusement, the little kitten finally purred in satisfaction, squatting down, using her two rosy paw pads to wash her face. After a while, the silhouette of the little kitten gradually distorted before one's eyes. It transformed into a young girl with a round face and sparkling round eyes. The girl let out a long yawn, flailing her limbs, a proud display of baring teeth and glaring. One look and you'd know it's Juju. Juju stood up, using her claws on the table to sharpen them for a bit, then rolled around frantically on the floor. After that, she scrambled to her feet and took arrogant steps toward a drawer, pulling out her favorite canned treat, codfish flavor. Juju opened the can, her sensitive nose sniffing it. Appearance unchanged, smell unchanged. But why does something feel off? Whatever time to eat, Jojo licked her lips, and the little kitten began to feast like a storm. But the very next second, Jojo choked so hard she threw up everywhere, staggering back several steps, unable to stay upright. From behind the curtain, an earth-shattering laugh suddenly rang out. I laughed so hard I slapped my thighs, my stomach aching. Why are you here? I said smugly. Naturally, I have my ways. Jojo, you dared to sell me out last time. Did you forget I'm the type to pay back every grudge? That's why I asked Ziwen to secretly bring me to Juju's house using a can of herring to replace Juju's favorite codfish can. I even had Ziwen add a little illusion spell just to prank this naughty, mischievous cat. Juju had eaten an entire can of stinky fish. Her whole cat self went limp, arms hanging dejectedly. I walked over and pinched her fluffy ear. "You human." Jojo growled fiercely, but because the damage from the herring was too OP, her threat seemed a bit weak. I smiled wickedly. My fingernails lightly pinched its ear in a threatening manner. "Hey little kitty, let me tell you something. Don't go around causing trouble just because you're cute. Next time, it won't just be a can of herring." After finishing my piece, I walked away smugly, totally unaware of Juju looking annoyed behind me. She rubbed her ear that had been pinched red, her ears twitching unconsciously, her tone a bit dazed. "Am I really cute?" Smooth-talking human. She pouted sulkily, her cheeks puffing out. Her tail had popped out at some point, unconsciously wagging back and forth. In front of the mirror, the girl turned left and then right, suddenly poking her own chubby cheek. How dare he be disrespectful to the great Juju? This lady is clearly incredibly charming like this. Before she could even finish her sentence, the person in the mirror suddenly turned back into a tuxedo cat. It strutted majestically back and forth in front of the mirror, its amber cat eyes filled with smugness, feeling itself completely. Just as the little cat was lost in self-admiration, it suddenly felt a chill down its spine. Juju had just turned her head back, when all the fur on her body immediately stood on end. Outside the window, an extremely beautiful but deathly pale face was pressed against the glass, a pair of blood-red eyes staring intently at her. Jojo was on the top floor, yet that body just hovered there in mid-air, poking its head out to quietly stare at her. No telling how long it had been watching. Even scarier, that face slowly passed through the glass, the head entering the room directly, while the body remained outside. It was beyond creepy and terrifying. The sound of footsteps echoed, followed by a tragic meow that rang out. Standing downstairs, I looked around in confusion. That's weird. I thought I just heard a tragic meow. Was it an illusion? Where did Baiji run off to? Wait, didn't I tell him to wait for me downstairs? Seriously, where did he disappear to? I muttered under my breath. Suddenly I felt a warmth behind my ear, and a gentle brother Jung echoed from behind. "What are you doing?" I jumped in surprise. "Baiji, why are you always acting like a ghost?" Baiju chuckled softly, and like a magic trick, he pulled a bouquet of sunflowers from behind his back. The sunflowers were wrapped very simply, and the flowers themselves were quite ordinary, the kind you can find just about anywhere. "I saw some sunflowers over there, so I wanted to give them to Brother Zhang." Ziwen scoffed, thinking it was just one of his tricks. As it turned out, I suddenly remembered, when I first arrived in this world, Ziwen had also given me a bouquet of sunflowers. It was wrapped in the exact same simple style, a bouquet of very ordinary sunflowers. You could probably even harvest them for seeds. Why give me sunflowers? Because you are the sun. Because flowers need the sun. And the phoenix needs the sun too. Cringe. The sun? Seriously? Haha. Why don't you just call me a 100-watt light bulb while you're at it? My mouth was talking trash, but I was already clutching the sunflowers to my chest. With the flowers pressed against my heart, it clearly wasn't a profound confession, yet it quietly began to sprout in my heart. As I was talking, I suddenly caught sight of a few black and white strands of fur stuck to his cuff. His phoenix eyes narrowed. As I reached out, picked a strand, and examined it closely. "Spill it." I looked at him like I'd caught him red-handed, only to see Baiji looking submissive. As he adjusted his cuff, I must have passed by a pet shop. It probably got stuck on me then. Really, I don't buy it. Just as I was about to interrogate him, Baiji suddenly pulled me into a tight hug. "Brother Zheng," he whispered like a sigh. "Why bother caring about such filthy things outside?" Without waiting for an answer, Baiji aggressively bit my chin. It wasn't a kiss, but a savage bite like a beast marking its territory. A drop of my red blood seeped out, immediately licked away greedily by him. My soft groan of pain instead caused his pupils to contract. The hands holding me used more and more force, as if he wanted to embed me into his very bones. But this psycho is the same every time. If he's not currently losing it, he's on his way to losing it. I leaned down to kiss him, biting his lip hard while I was at it, only to be met with even more frantic demands. Finally, once Baiji was satisfied, I let out an angry laugh, tisk-tisking. Just as I was about to raise my hand to slap him, who would have thought he'd be even faster, directly slapping his own face several times until it was flushed. The red in his eyes vanished, turning ink black. "Baiju, you can't bully Brother Jung like that. As if you didn't want to, you fake beast. You're a greedy animal. Still better than a hypocritical piece of trash like you." I watched the face before me shift through expressions, constantly arguing beyond any hope of intervention. I silently facepalmed. Suddenly, I reached out and squeezed both his cheeks, shaking them hard. Everyone shut up for me. The world finally became quiet. No one is allowed to speak anymore. Just be good and follow me home. The night wind on the road carried a bit of a chill, sweeping up the fallen leaves on the ground, spinning them into small circles as they brushed past our feet. I took her slightly cold hand, my fingertips caressing the calluses on her palm, watching our two shadows overlap. Under the streetlight stretched out, growing long and then short. My footsteps faltered. I turned my head to look at her. She was still looking down, her long eyelashes drooping, quivering slightly like butterfly wings. The energy from the argument just now had long vanished, leaving behind only a trace of lingering grievance. Let's get married. My voice wasn't very loud, but it was exceptionally clear in the quiet alley. Ziwen. The vibrant marks on her face hadn't faded yet, now tinged with a faint layer of blushing pink, making her look even more innocent. What did you say? Her voice carried a barely perceptible tremble, her eyes surging with shock and doubt, along with a sliver of heavy anticipation. Let's get married. After a long while, she finally seemed to snap out of it, her lips trembling slightly, as she uttered 3 words so softly they were almost inaudible, yet they carried an unprecedented determination. I say yes. The wind caught strands of her hair brushing my cheek, bringing with it the pure fragrance, wafting from her tresses. She wrapped her arms tightly around my waist, pressing her cheek against my shoulder, her voice a murmur yet perfectly clear. Brother Jung, I do. A few months later, we were preparing for the wedding. Ziwen had ascended to become a top-tier tycoon, controlling the economic lifeblood. This wedding was decorated with absolute opulence. I stood on the altar, watching Ziwen take every step toward me. She held a bouquet of sunflowers in her hand, because she said, Brother Jung is my son. Sunflowers will always chase the sun, and I will also forever follow you. When it was time to exchange rings, Ziwen took the custom-made ring and reverently placed it on my finger. Brother Jung, I want to give my heart to you. Ziwen's gaze was terrifyingly gentle, but her tone was exceptionally serious. Brother Jung, I'm being serious. She lifted my hand and gently pressed it against her chest. My palm felt a powerful heartbeat, full of vigor. It originally belonged to you. A black phoenix cannot reach nirvana, but this black phoenix has finally found the sun, so I am no longer a black phoenix who can't survive past 100 years. I can live for a very, very long time. I will live for a very, very long time with my son. I didn't know what Ziwen was thinking in her heart. I only feel that she looks exceptionally radiant today. But seeing Ziwen's expression so serious, I couldn't bear to make her sad. I casually picked up a small pastry and fed it to her. Brother Jung is giving her a small pastry again, and even feeding her personally. Brother Jung himself is like a sweet snack, both fragrant and sweet. So does this count as proof that Brother Jung wants me to devour him entirely? Juju stood below the stage wearing a weird hat, clutching a super giant piece of codfish in her hands. Seeing me smile so sweetly like that, Juju took a spiteful bite. Then seeing Ziwen smiling like an idiot, Jojo took another spiteful bite. Seeing me get intimate with a small cupcake, Juju scoffed and took yet another spiteful bite. Cats don't need humans to raise them. Saying that she stroked her ruffled fur, it's definitely not because that bird is too scary. Assistant Yan cowered in the darkest corner of the banquet hall, a laptop resting on his knees, fingertips flying across the keyboard at lightning speed. He took advantage of a toast to steal a quick glance at the 2 people smiling at each other on stage, muttering under his breath, I really regret it now. If I'd known, I wouldn't have said Brother Jung liked me back then. Ziwen is such a petty, vengeful person, giving me a mountain of work. Only a massive year-end bonus could possibly comfort me now. Just as he finished, his phone vibrated. It was a notification for a new work email. Assistant Yan looked completely helpless. The wealthy lady stood not far away, hands clasped behind her back, holding a clean handkerchief. She looked at Ziwen, who used to be cold and unapproachable, up there on the stage. The current Ziwen had eyes overflowing with a tenderness that wouldn't fade. Seeing her enveloped in happiness, the lady's clouded eyes instantly welled up with tears. She gently raised the handkerchief to wipe her eyes, yet the corners of her mouth couldn't help but curl up. In her heart, she thought, this is good. This is truly wonderful. This wedding was incredibly lavish, yet extremely private. No live stream, no media coverage, because the Phoenix is very narrow-minded and has no interest in letting others gaze at his lover. However, the Phoenix's vanity is quite strong. He really wanted to receive blessings from humans. So the Zai Corporation's official account posted, updating their info. The personal account of the majority shareholder, Ziwen, also cleared up the situation regarding the long-term detention of the White Moonlight. He commented and posted a super cool status. That's right, I'm married. Attached was a photo from the wedding scene. The 2 of us were embracing tightly on stage, surrounded by an exquisite and magnificent decor. One look was enough to see the sheer luxury of this wedding. What was even more shocking was that, just by leaving a blessing under the post, one would automatically receive a 9999 RMB red envelope. As the noise of the wedding wound down, only Ziwen and I were left in the room. Warm yellow light spread across the carpet, reflecting the undiminished tenderness in his eyes. Suddenly, Ziwen hugged me tightly, his voice filled with happy emotion. Brother Jung, we can finally be together forever. That's right. In this life, we can stay together forever. After hearing me speak, he tightened his grip even more, saying, I don't want just this life. I want the next life, and the one after that, we must be together. I looked down at him, smiled, and said, all right. Just as he was about to say something, I kissed him to shut him up. This kiss was deep and lingering, The moment our lips finally parted, his eyes were flushed crimson, yet he still didn't let go of the hands gripping my waist. He took my hand, walking with determined steps toward the bedroom. The bustle of the lavish wedding behind us was shut off by the door. No one knows how much time passed as the two sank deep into sleep. When I opened my eyes again, the morning light had risen streaming through the curtain gaps. It gently traced Ziwen's features. She had been awake for a long time, just lying on her side dazed watching me. Her eyes were filled with an endless tenderness and a lingering smile. Even her eyelashes seemed to catch the morning sunlight. Those sparks beating in sync with our hearts shattered in the dawn. The black phoenix and the sun were finally fulfilled. From now on, together from dawn to dusk, year after year, with only each other's warmth and tenderness to color the long life ahead. The morning light pierced through the floor-to-ceiling windows, shining into the living room onto the sheepskin rug, making Ziwen's serious face look even softer. She was bowing her head to tie the shoes of the little girl in her lap, her fingertips as gentle as if touching a fragile treasure. This is the daughter of Ziwen and me. Her name is Xiaokui, named by Ziwen. She said it's so the girl will always face the sun and live a life that is radiant and passionate. But who would have thought that this little girl is actually a bit too passionate? Ever since she learned to run and jump at age 3, the private villa hasn't had a single day of peace. She'd sneak up to the terrace to pick the bonsai trees the wealthy lady painstakingly grew, hide assistant Yan's documents in a playtent, and snatch Juju's fur hat to run around everywhere. She even dared to take advantage of Ziwen's nap to draw cat whiskers on her face. That day, I had just returned from the office and saw Fuba holding a broom, chasing Xiaokui all over the yard, constantly muttering, "My little ancestor, please give me back my orchids." Ziwen sat on the sofa, looking at the pile of stuffed animals and snack wrappers scattered everywhere. She helplessly rubbed her temples. Seeing me return, her eyes reddened slightly. "Brother Zheng, I really can't handle Xiaokui anymore." Seeing me, Xiaokui immediately rushed over to hug my leg, tilting her small face up with a radiant smile. "Ha ha ha ha, daddy, look, the butler's orchids can dance. Aren't they super impressive?" I leaned down to pick her up. The faint scent of milk on her body lingered around my nose. My heart felt soft and warm all at once. Ziwen leaned in close, her voice sounding exhausted. "Maybe we should hand Xiaokui over to Jojo and assistant Yan for a while? The two of them know Xiaokui's personality well. Maybe they can actually handle her." I hesitated a bit. Jojo is naturally stuck up, and assistant Yan is already swamped with work. But before I could speak, Juju's roar drifted down from upstairs. "Xiaokui, when did you pluck my fur again?" Followed by assistant Yan's helpless, suppressed voice, "Xiaokui, please don't pour coffee on my laptop." Finally, after Xiaokui once again turned Ziwen's dressing table into a total disaster, Jojo and assistant Yan were forced to take on this hot potato. Jojo clutched her bag of dried cod, looking like she had nothing left to live for. If it weren't for Ziwen's sake and the fact that he promised me an unlimited supply of cod, this cat wouldn't bother watching this little troublemaker at all. Assistant Yan pushed up his glasses and let out a long sigh. "Boss, I'll do my best to multitask babysitting and work." At first, Jojo and assistant Yan could barely manage. Jojo would take Xiaokui to the park to catch butterflies, while assistant Yan handled documents nearby. Assistant Yan would teach Xiaokui her ABCs, while Jojo sat nearby munching cod and supervising. But in less than 3 months, the two of them were completely done. Xiaokui was overflowing with energy, like a perpetual motion machine wreaking havoc all day, leaving them both exhausted. At night, she'd even sneak into Juju's room and hide her dried cod. That day, Ziwen and I were rarely both at home resting, sitting in the yard, drinking tea and chatting. Ziwen leaned on my shoulder and said, "Brother Zheng, Xiaokui seems to be better behaved lately. Jojo and assistant Yan haven't been complaining much either." I smiled and nodded. Just as I was about to say something, I saw Fuba rushing over, holding a piece of paper in her hand. I took the paper. On it was the scribbled handwriting of those two. Jojo wrote, "This cat is going to seek freedom. Returning this little troublemaker to you two for now." Assistant Yan wrote, "Boss, I'm taking my paid leave. I'll have to trouble you two with Xiaokui. Please send the year-end bonus as usual." Ziwen looked at the note, then at Xiaokui chasing butterflies in the distance, and couldn't help but laugh out loud. Those two really made a clean getaway. I shook my head helplessly, reaching out to pull Ziwen into my arms. "It's fine. Let them go relax for a bit. As for Xiaokui, we'll take care of her ourselves." Meanwhile, on the highway, 2 sports cars were speeding along. Jojo wore sunglasses, munching on dried cod. Assistant Yan and Jojo were on the phone with each other the whole way. "Yanshin, are we really leaving without saying goodbye?" To the chairman and Ziwen first. Yanshin rubbed his temples and said, "If we told them, we wouldn't be able to leave. Besides, they haven't been that busy lately, and Fuba is still there to help, so don't worry." The cars drove out of the city. The two of them parted ways at a fork in the road. Jo wanted to go to a coastal city in the south. She said she wanted to see the ocean. Yanshin wanted to go to an ancient town in the northwest. He had long wanted to experience a slower pace of life. "Keep in touch. If you run into trouble, just let me know anytime." Jojo waved her hand. "Don't worry. There's nothing this cat can't handle. And you don't just work all day, take a good rest. They looked at each other and smiled, each starting their own journey. There were things they didn't say out loud. Over the years, witnessing Ziwen and I in love and staying committed, the sense of responsibility they once held for me had long ago faded away significantly during those days spent together. This long trip was partly to escape the clutches of Xiaokui, but also to give themselves a chance to see the world outside and realize what they truly desired. Jojo arrived at a small coastal city, just in time for sunset. The twilight dyed the sea surface a golden red as waves crashed against the sandy shore, making gentle sounds. She found a beachfront homestay to stay at, and as soon as she dropped her luggage, she ran to the shore. The idle sea breeze brushed against her cheeks, carrying a light, briny scent of the ocean. Yet, it made her feel more relaxed than ever before. On the morning of the second day, Jojo was awakened by noisy shouting outside her window. She impatiently pushed the window open and saw a man on the beach, leading a group of children to pick up seashells. The man wore a simple white t-shirt and beach shorts, his smile radiant. The sunlight shone down on him, as if he were covered in a layer of aura. For some reason, Juju's heart beat a bit faster, in an unusual way. She huffed coldly, turning around to grab a piece of dried cod to munch on. But in her heart, she couldn't help but think, humans are so troublesome. Their smiles aren't even that pretty. But fate always seems to love playing tricks. In the afternoon, Juju went to the seafood market to buy fish, and was accidentally pushed by the crowded mob. The dried cod in her hand fell to the ground. She was just about to blow her top when she saw a clean hand pick up the dried cod and hold it out in front of her. Juju looked up and was stunned. It was the same man she saw on the beach this morning. The man smiled and said, "My name is Jiang Yu. I'm a marine biology researcher here. Are you here on vacation?" 2. Juju's cheeks turned slightly red as she awkwardly took the cod. "My name is Juju." Just as she turned to leave, Jiang Yu patted her shoulder and asked, "You said you love cod. I know a place that makes incredible cod. Want to go try it together?" Juju nodded as if possessed. Jiang Yu took Juju to a small seaside shop. The cod there was fresh and juicy, charred on the outside but tender on the inside. Jiang Yu didn't talk much, but he always found the right topics. He told Juju interesting seaside stories, talked about the habits of marine life, and shared how he had rescued injured dolphins. Juju listened quietly, occasionally chiming in with a word or two. The annoyance in her heart gradually faded away. Over the next few days, Jojo kept accidentally bumping into Jiang Yu. He'd give her a bottle of warm water during her morning jog, point out the whales in the distance while she watched the sea, and silently bring over a parasol when he saw her frowning in the bright sun. Jo didn't say it out loud, but her heart was slowly warming up. She realized Jiang Yu was a gentle and refined person. He would patiently explain ocean facts to the kids, treat every small animal with care, and even squat on the sand to guard a stranded starfish for an entire afternoon, never leaving its side. Once Jojo accidentally sprained her foot, Jiang Yu immediately carried her on his back to the home. The beach sand was very soft, but Jiang Yu's steps were very steady. His back was broad and warm. Lying there, Jojo could clearly hear his steady heartbeat. In that moment, she suddenly remembered the bitterness of the past, always following behind me, watching Ziwen and me be all lovey-dovey. But now that bitterness was being replaced by a strange fluttering feeling. "Jiang Yu, why did you choose to be a marine biologist?" Jojo asked softly. Jiang Yu smiled. "Because I feel that the creatures under the ocean are very pure. In their world, things aren't that complicated. Besides, being able to protect them makes me feel like my life has meaning." Jojo fell silent. She remembered how in the past, she was always obsessed with who was more important, always silently competing for Ziwen's attention, against me. But Jiang Yu's words made her suddenly realize that affection was never about fighting, but about mutual tenderness and harmony. Jiang Yu's tenderness was meant only for her. No comparisons, no suspicion, just pure care. Meanwhile, at an ancient town far away in the northwest, Assistant Yan also met someone who made his heart flutter. When Assistant Yan arrived at the ancient town, he happened to encounter persistent drizzling rain. He found an old-style inn to stay at. The owner of the inn was a man named Shen Yan, who wore a blue-gray traditional robe and always held a folding fan in his hand, exuding a refined and scholarly aura. Assistant Yan originally wanted a quiet stay for a few days, but as soon as he checked in, he discovered the inn's Wi-Fi signal was absolute trash, making it impossible to handle any work. He was as anxious as a spinning top. Shen Yan walked over leisurely and said, "Mr. Yan, the pace of life in this ancient town is very slow. Why not set aside your work and take a walk?" Assistant Yan frowned. "I still have a lot of tasks to finish." Shen Yan laughed and said, "Work never truly ends. Look at the rain in this ancient town. Isn't it poetic? Don't let the scenery go to waste." Half-doubting Assistant Yan followed Shen Yan out of the inn. A light mist of rain fell, hitting the blue stone path and creating tiny splashes of water. The alleys in the town were winding and secluded, lined with white-walled houses and black tiles. Red lanterns hung under the eaves, looking so soulful in the rain. Shen Yan told her about the history of the ancient town, recounting the legends hidden within the alleys. His voice was warm, like spring rain refreshing one's heart. Assistant Yan gradually relaxed her mood. For years, she had revolved entirely around work, following me to handle every corporate matter. Ziwen's nerves were always stretched thin like a guitar string, especially after accidentally saying she liked Brother Junk, which led to Ziwen's petty revenge of piling on more work. She had poured all her soul into the job, never truly enjoying life. Shen Yan seemed to see right through her thoughts. Miss Yan, you always look so busy. Actually, life isn't just about work. It's also about poetry and far-off horizons. Yanxin turned to look at Shen Yan in a daze. Raindrops wet her bangs, but she didn't mind at all. In his eyes was a sense of total composure. In that moment, her heart seemed to be gently touched. In the following days, Yanxin walked the old streets with Shen Yan every day. Yan took her to eat the most authentic local specialties, showed her the ancient handicrafts hidden deep in the small alleys, and took her to the mountaintop to watch the sunrise. Yanxin also helped Shen Yan manage the inn, checking in guests and cleaning rooms. She even used her professional expertise to help Shen Yan optimize the inn's operations. The two of them lived together in total harmony. Occasionally, there were minor sulks. Yanxin complained Shen Yan worked too slowly. Shen Yan laughed that she was always in a rush. Yanxin thought Shen Yan was too laid back. Shen Yan said she was too strict. But every time they argued, they both took the initiative to make up. One time, Yanxin stayed up until the crack of dawn. Late at night, he brought her a bowl of hot brown sugar ginger tea. Staying up late is bad for your health. Drink some ginger tea to warm up. Yanxin took it, the scent of ginger wafting around her nose, feeling a surge of warmth in her heart. She looked into Shen Yan's gentle eyes. In the past, I always complained that Ziwen assigned me too much work. And because of the favoritism shown towards Ziwen, I felt silently disappointed. But now she finally understood. That disappointment wasn't actual love. It was just a habit of dependency and comparison. What Shen Yan gave him was respect. And equality, it was a gentle understanding of him, making her feel she could drop all her guards to be her most authentic self. Shen Yan, thank you, Xin whispered. Shen Yan smiled. Always because of the favoritism shown towards Ziwen, I felt silently disappointed. But only now do I understand. That disappointment wasn't actual love. It was just a habit of dependency and comparison. What Shen Yan gave him was respect. And equality, it was a gentle understanding of her, making her feel she could drop all her guards to be her most authentic self. Shen Yan, thank you, Yanxin whispered. Shen Yan smiled. It's nothing. Meeting you has made me very happy too. The rain stopped. Sunlight pierced the clouds, hitting the old town's stone path, reflecting brilliant rays of light. Yanxin looked at Shen Yan's smile, and her mind suddenly became clear. Finally, she was able to let go of her responsibility toward me and realize what she truly desired. It was a life this peaceful and warm, a companionship built on mutual understanding. 1 month later, Jojo and Yanxin received messages from each other at almost the same time. Both shyly mentioned over the phone the person they had met. I think I've fallen for Zhang Yu. He's truly gentle. We even watched the sea together and fed the dolphins. Yanxin smiled. I also met someone great named Shen Yan. He's very calm and has taught me so much. Then I guess it's time to head back. Jujio said hesitantly. We've been gone so long. It's time we go back to visit them. Mainly, we still have to deal with that little demon. Yanxin nodded. Agreed. Once we're back, we should also face our own hearts seriously. A few days later, the doorbell at Ziwen's villa rang. Ziwen and I opened the door to find Jujio and Yanxin looking travel-weary. Behind them stood two strange men. Jojo looked at Ziwen and me, her cheeks flushing slightly as she held Zhang Yu's hand. Let me introduce everyone. This is Zhang Yu, my boyfriend. Yanxin also linked arms with Shen Yan, softly saying, this is Shen Yan, the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Ziwen and I looked at each other and smiled, our eyes filled with relief. I stepped forward to welcome them. Welcome home, everyone. It's so good to see you found your own happiness. Zhang Yu and Shen Yan also greeted us politely. Zhang Yu smiled and said, thank you all for taking care of Juju. Shen Yan also nodded. I look forward to your guidance in the future. The little demon ran out from inside the house. Seeing Jojo and Yanxin, she immediately lunged at them. Big sis, auntie, Jojo, auntie, Yanxin. You're finally back. I missed you guys so much. The little girl curiously looked at Zhang Yu and Shen Yan, tilting her small head. Who are these two uncles? Jojo rubbed the girl's head, a gentle smile blooming on her lips. This is Uncle Zhang Yu. He'll be living with us from now on. Yanxin also smiled. And this is Uncle Shen Yan. He'll be coming to visit Xiaokui often. Xiaokui nodded, only half understanding, then grabbed Zhang Yu and Shen Yan's hands and ran inside. Uncles, let me show you my toys. Watching the child's joyful figure and the happy smiles on Juju and Yanxin's faces, my heart was filled with emotion. Even if in the past, they might have had some vague feelings for me, now, they've both found the true happiness that belongs to them. This is probably the best ending possible. In the following days, Juju and Yanxin began preparing for their weddings. I proactively offered to help. I said, Your weddings must be held with a truly grand celebration. Ziwen also had the Z Corporation's Team 5 collaborate with all their heart. After all, they are both important people in our lives. The wedding was held on a private beach in a small coastal city designed by me personally. That day, the sun shone brightly and the sea breeze was gentle. The beach was covered in white roses and blue hydrangeas. Out on the sea in the distance, dolphins leaped into the air, as if blessing the new couples. Jojo wore a pure white wedding dress, her head adorned with a veil made of pearls and feathers. In her hand, she held a bouquet of sunflowers. She said she was following Ziyuan's lead, wanting to forever follow her own son. Yan Xin wore a simple mermaid-style wedding dress, exuding an elegant aura while holding a bouquet of white roses, as gentle as a painting. Zhang Yu wore a white suit, looking at Jojo with eyes full of adoration. Shen Yan wore a dark gray suit holding Yan Xin's hand, a gentle smile playing on his lips. As the wedding officiant, I stood on the stage to give a speech. Today, seeing Jojo and Yan Xin find their happiness, Ziwen and I are both very relieved. May you two protect each other for the rest of your lives, providing warm companionship, like sunflowers following the sun, like sea waves embracing the shore. May your happiness be forever complete. Enthusiastic applause rang out from below the stage. I leaned against Ziyuan, my eyes slightly red. All of us are finally happy. After the wedding ceremony ended, everyone partied wildly on the beach, singing and dancing. Out on the sea in the distance, Jiang Yu in his white suit was dancing and eating seafood. Xiao Kui in her little formal dress wove through the crowd. One moment, giving flowers to Juju and Jiang Yu, the next bringing wine to Yanqin and Shen Yan, busy and full of joy. Fu Bao watched this lively scene, gently wiped away her tears and said with a smile, "Seeing you kids each get married and start your careers, I can finally rest easy." A few months after the wedding ended, some unexpected happy news arrived. Jojo, Yanxin, and Ziwen actually got pregnant at the same time. This news made everyone incredibly excited. Jiang Yu changed the menu every day to make nutritious meals for Juju, terrified that she wasn't getting enough nutrients. Shen Yan brushed off all unnecessary social gatherings. Spending every day accompanying Yanqin on walks and reading, I handed over even more work to my assistants, dedicating myself entirely to taking care of Ziyuan. I gave her massages every day, took her to prenatal checkups, and indulged her every erratic mood swing. When the three pregnant ladies gathered together, it was exceptionally lively. They would go shopping for baby supplies together, sit in the yard, soaking up the sun, and complain to each other while chatting about the hardships of pregnancy. Ugh, I'm getting so fat after getting pregnant. None of my old clothes fit anymore. Jojo munched on a dried fish stick and nodded. Right, and I keep craving the weirdest things. Yesterday, I suddenly wanted grilled seaside squid, and Jiang Yu drove out in the middle of the night to get it. Yanqin said with a smile, "I'm doing okay. It's just the frequent insomnia. Every night, Shen Yan tells me stories, continuing until I fall asleep. Before he stops, Xiao Kui sat nearby holding a small doll, saying seriously, Mom, Auntie Juju, Auntie Yanqin, don't worry. Once the babies are born, I'll take care of them. I'll feed them their milk, tell them stories, and even take them out to play with me." Looking at my daughter's serious expression, Jiang Yu, Shen Yan, and I all burst into laughter. Jiang Yu rubbed Xiao Kui's head. "Xiao Kui is so good. You're going to be a big sister soon." That day, the weather was exceptionally beautiful. The three pregnant ladies made an appointment to go to the mall to buy baby cribs. Ziwen wore a loose one-piece dress. Leaning on my arm, Jojo wore energetic sportswear, carefully protected by Jiang Yu at her side. Yanxin wore an elegant long dress, with Shen Yan following behind her carrying shopping bags. Xiao Kui was like a little tail, skipping and running ahead. They were picking out cribs in the baby supplies section, discussing which style was safer and which color was prettier. Suddenly, Ziwen frowned, her face turning slightly pale. "Brother Zheng, I think my water broke." My heart tightened. I immediately supported her. "Don't panic. I'm taking you to the hospital right now." As soon as I spoke, Juju also clutched her stomach, her expression changing. "Oh no, I think I am too?" Yanqin was about to speak, when she suddenly froze, then said helplessly, "Me too." The three men panicked instantly. Jiang Yu scooped Jojo up. Shen Yan supported Yanqin, and I picked up Ziyuan. Xiao Kui ran behind us. "Daddy, Auntie Jojo, Auntie Yanqin, is everyone okay?" Everyone in the mall turned to look. We didn't have time to explain, rushing toward the parking lot. The whole way, the three pregnant ladies were still comforting each other. "Don't worry, it should be fine. The due dates were close anyway. It's just that we're all too pro at this. We'll definitely have a smooth delivery." Yanqin also smiled. "Maybe our babies want to come out and see this world together." We reached the hospital. The doctors immediately moved them to delivery rooms. Jiang Yu and Shen Yan waited anxiously outside the delivery rooms, hands clutching our phones, terrified of missing any news. Xiao Kui stood beside us, tiptoeing to look toward the delivery rooms. Xiao Kui asked softly, "Daddy, Mommy and the aunties will be okay, right?" I leaned down and rubbed her head. "Of course, Xiao Kui. Mommy and everyone are very brave. They'll bring the babies out to meet us soon." "Yes." Jiang Yu paced back and forth, muttering, "Jujo is usually such a scaredy cat. I don't know if she can pull through." Shun Yan patted his shoulder. Relax. Juju is strong. We have to believe in them. Time ticked by minute by minute. Inside the delivery room, the occasional cries of the laboring women drifted out. Every sound felt like a needle pricking our hearts. The three of us couldn't sit still. One moment we'd stand up to stare at the delivery room door. The next we'd sit back down to comfort each other. No one knows how long it had been, but the delivery room light finally turned off. The door slowly pushed open, and a nurse walked out carrying 3 babies, a gentle smile radiating from her face. Congratulations to the 3 gentlemen. They are all healthy babies, 2 boys and 1 girl. Both mothers and babies are safe and sound. I was the first to rush over, looking at my son who was slightly frowning in his swaddle. His features were exactly like Ziwen's. In an instant, my nose felt sharp with emotion. Jiang Yu stared at his daughter, trembling as he wanted to touch her but didn't dare. Muttering constantly, she looks just like Juju, really just like Juju. Shen Yan gently stroked his son's soft silky hair, his eyes full of cherished love, his breath even softening a few degrees. In the hospital room, the 3 girls who had just given birth leaned against their headboards, looking at the little ones beside them, their faces wearing tired but happy smiles. Ziwen took my hand and whispered, "Brother Zheng, our home is even more complete now." Jojo leaned in close and poked her son's cheek. From now on, we're one big lively family. Yanxin smiled and nodded as Shen Yan handed her a cup of warm water, his gaze never leaving her and the baby. Xiaokui clung to the edge of the bed, carefully, and tiny bit by bit, touching the baby's small hand, using her soft milky voice to call out, "I'm your big sister." Later on the beach of the coastal town, and in the garden, the silhouette of our large family could always be seen. The 3 little ones wore matching outfits, waddling as they learned to walk on the grass. Xiaokui ran back and forth watching over them. Jiang Yu and Shen Yan played along with the kids. I put my arm around Ziyuan's shoulder, watching the laughter and chatter before my eyes. The sea breeze blew past, carrying the fresh scent of roses. Fuba sat on the rocking chair nearby, watching the children chase each other and play. Then looking at how close we all were, she smiled so much that the wrinkles at the corners of her eyes crinkled like flowers. The sunlight was perfect. The years were gentle, and we were all in each other's protection, writing the next chapter of eternal happiness.